So I'm from Des Moines, Iowa, and then I'm an environmental science major.
Des Moines, aerospace engineering.
I started off at Lincoln High School, and I'm now studying to be a chemical engineer.
I'm from Des Moines. I went to Roosevelt High School, and I'm majoring in kinesiology.
I'm Lee, chemistry major from Des Moines, Iowa. Went to Roosevelt High School.
I went to Lincoln High School. My major is biology, and I am a senior here at Iowa State University.
I came from Roosevelt High School in Des Moines, and my current major is civil engineering with an environmental emphasis.
I went to Roosevelt High School in Des Moines, and my major is biology.
I came in as a civil engineer, and then I kind of wanted to solve water quality issues, but as a civil engineer, you build infrastructure, right? And I didn't want to build more infrastructure. I wanted to restore lost ecosystems that do the same thing. So I kind of figured that out after my first semester, and I switched over to environmental science.
What led me to civil was that I read this brochure that my, science fund advisor, or he was also a physics teacher, Mr. Blair from Roosevelt. I don't think he's there anymore, but he gave me this brochure on knowing what kind of engineering I wanted to pursue, and what piqued my interest was civil because it involves things that people are directly using every day on a regular basis. But what made me really want to pursue environmental was when I was a sophomore, or a couple years back, and what piqued my interest was that it involves trying to find ways to have clean water, and with today's issues of the fact that water is clean water is very scarce in the world, and I wanted to find ways to make it better for everybody, especially those who are in third world countries, or what happened in Flint, Michigan. And I'm just I want to be that one. I want to be the one to help people in that way.
Okay, so for a long time, I've always been interested in architecture. So for a while, that has been the direction that I wanted to go towards. So I participated in a lot of programs that geared towards architecture, construction, engineering, all that. And then it was my senior year that I took advanced anatomy and physiology. And I didn't want to take that class at first, but one of the advisors at my high school said that it was a really good course and that I should consider it. And so I did, and I ended up falling in love with it. And that's when I thought that biology would probably be the right major for me.
When I was in high school, I was in sports a lot, and I know one of the people who used to be in the program, David, he used to ask me all the time, well, what are you going to major in, what are you going to major in? And I'm like, I don't know, I want to do something with sports. And he kind of threw kinesiology at me, where he was like, it's a mix between, learning about sports and science. So I just kind of took that and ran with it in a way. So
At the time, I was doing I was in aviation, which is at Des Moines. They have central campus, and you can go there and do specific classes. And I did aviation maintenance, and that was fine. And I wanted to get more in depth, so I decided to go to aerospace. I'd also, grown up in space. We had a lot of space books at my house, and then just putting two and two together.
Yeah, it would definitely mean a lot to my family. My family comes from Ghana in West Africa, and so my parents, my dad came here in the early 80s, and then my mom joined him with my oldest brother. And it was hard for them throughout their lives. They didn't have everything handed to them. They didn't have these opportunities that we have here. And so for me, being at Iowa State and almost to that point where I'm about to get a degree is something huge. And even though my oldest brother, he went to the University of Iowa, he has his degree, but me being the last child means a lot to them, especially since I'm considering the medical field, and there's no one in our family that is a doctor that I know of. We have a huge family, but I'm sure there's no one that has reached that level. So it would not only mean a lot to my parents, but to all of my family members back home.
It means a lot, actually. Because, like, back a while in, like, elementary and middle school, like, people always looked down at me like I was just going to be, like, a mistake, or, like, going to be another statistic, as people like to call that, like, end up on the streets or in jail or dead or stuff like that. And it's kind of like a, well, I actually did something, and, like, I proved you guys wrong kind of thing. And so that, like, means the world to me, that I can actually, like, push through and not let people, like, get to me.
Essentially, solidifies my family, I think, as being as a contributing unit to the society. I think it breaks stereotypes that, you know, immigrants aren't qualified to work in upper level job positions. So I think it breaks those stereotypes. It really makes the sacrifice that my parents made worth it. I mean, my dad hasn't seen his mother for like over 20 years. So, like, I mean, and it would be nice to make that sacrifice worth it.
I gave a speech at the alumni event, and as I was giving the speech, I was getting really choked up because I kept looking over at the table with my parents and, like, seeing my dad, like, kind of just lose it, because it's been his dream since we've been born, and to see it, like, so close, we see the end in sight, like, I graduate in December. That, like, I don't know, it was like a rush of good emotion. That is amazing. And, like, looking over and seeing Dr. Hargrave and my parents being so happy and so proud, that's one of my favorite memories that I've had basically my entire life. It's like, makes you feel like everything has been worth it. Like, all of the struggling and all of the things my parents have had to give up and the things that we've had to give up. And maybe not necessarily, in high school I didn't, like, do anything besides school. I was really focused on, like, making sure I could get to college. So maybe all those times that I wish I could have done something else, but that I knew that this was my goal. Like, it feels like it was worth it.
With me graduating, I'm actually the first to graduate out of my family of 3 kids. I have 2 brothers, or 1 brother, 1 sister. And then out of, like, 13 grandkids, I'm also the first to graduate out of them. So it makes me feel good, for sure. Like, because I'm not the oldest, well, I'm the oldest of my siblings, but not the oldest of my cousins. So it's kind of like this, I mean, just because I'm, you know, one of the younger cousins out of the whole entire family, it's not like I can't do it because I'm the oldest, or, you know, things like that. But it's like, I don't know, I like when people look up to me and it's something positive. Like, if they think of my name, of my face, they can think of something that positive that goes with my name and with my face.
You know what? I've been kind of on the fence on this, but I've always thought that grad school would be a really good idea to pursue. However, what I'd like to do first is get some work experience. And I know some companies do help fund grad school if you're interested, if that's something that can help you along with helping the company. They can provide finances in order for you to go to grad school. So that's kind of the road I'm taking. Maybe work for a couple years and then go back. I know one thing for sure, in April I'll be taking the fundamental engineering exam so I can get my license, and then go on and get some work experience on top of that.
So I've been considering different areas to go into, like PhD programs. So right now I'm looking at that, or else combined degree programs, so MD, PhD. I'm also interested in research too, so that might be an area that I would go into.
Right after I'm gonna work, probably get a job, see how the industry feels, and go from there.
So when I was on my co-op in the South, I was really invested in what I was doing, so I tried really hard. And my, like, supervisors kind of took note of that, and in my evaluations, they, like, gave me really good evaluations. But in the department I was working in, they didn't have any openings for, like, a process engineer when I was going to start in January. So basically my hiring manager sent off my resume and like that evaluation to all of the hiring managers in that plant. So for the different departments, they all got back to me, and like I got a job offer from a different department. So I'm gonna be going back to the same location, just a different department.